A massive shout out to the pre-existing, long time and new subscribers to the channel. Huge shout out to you. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome back to Foxy Games News UK. Gaming news, speculation, rumor and some light entertainment. Hope you all had a splendid weekend. We've got a lot of news for you as usual. All the links to our news stories can be found in the video's description. If you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, hit notification and all that good stuff. So no time to waste then. On with our first news story, courtesy of pushsquare.com. Interestingly, eye-opening PS5 sales data reveals why Microsoft is porting Xbox games and en masse. 6 of PS5's best, and I say best-selling games, are published by Microsoft. So we've known for some time of Microsoft's porting efforts such as Forza Horizon 5, and they have been paying off with a very strong PS5 sales data. A new table from Sakana really puts it into perspective why Xbox titles are indeed going multi-platform. Across Q2 period of 2025, that's the second quarter, which runs from 6th of April to the 5th of July, collating both physical and digital sales in the USA, it's revealed that the 6 top 10 best-selling games are on PlayStation and are published via Microsoft. So here's what the top 10 list looks like. So at number 10 you've got WWE 2K25, the forever evergreen game. At 9, Grand Theft Auto 5. At 8, Assassin's Creed Shadows. At 7, Minecraft. At 6, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. At number 5, Doom, The Dark Ages. At number 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. At number 3, MLB The Show 2025. And at number 2, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. And at number 1, Forza Horizon 5. So here's the thing though. They're saying 6 of the games are published via Microsoft, which is true. But if you dig a bit deeper and unwrap the dressing, you'll find that most of the games published via Microsoft were already multi-platform titles, which would have entered into all the platform sales charts anyway. In fact, the only 2 games out of the list that are new to the PlayStation platform that were never multi-platform is Forza Horizon 5 and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, even though it was rumored to have been in development for PS5. But Microsoft purchased obviously Bethesda and then cut the PS5 version. Technically it isn't a multi-platform game, well, until now, because it's on PS5. So it was reported last week that Forza Horizon 5 is the best-selling PS5 game and a new release of the year on the platform. So having surpassed 3 million units on the console, just on the PS5 console, this new USA sales data backs that claim. So you got Oblivion Remastered as the second quarter second best selling PS5 title, followed by consistent sellers, as I say, the always multi-platform Call of Duty and Minecraft. So the ports of older titles are even outselling heavy hitters like Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Shadows and Sony's own developed baseball MLB series. And yeah, people are saying, how is it that a 5-year-old game, Xbox game at that, is outselling all the PlayStation games? They're having a field day with this one, saying that PlayStation gamers do not buy or support their own games. But here's the thing. Are we really going to diminish the quality, the reverence that is attached to the Forza series just to win an argument, really a pathetic argument over sales versus platform versus exclusivity versus multi-platform? Are we really going to diminish Forza Horizon 5 like that? Stunning, stellar game? But look, at the end of the day, it's a small vocal minority who are arguing their cause for the fanboy console wars, obviously. But even Nate the Hate has said that PlayStation titles more will be coming to Xbox, but no specific titles have yet been announced. But here's the thing, isn't this obvious to even a chocobo? I mean, why would Sony Interactive Entertainment just stop at just Helldivers 2 on Xbox? Obviously there's more titles coming. I mean, they're hiring somebody for the position at a specific location to handle the out of year PlayStation multi-platform games and obviously live service games. Sony itself just had a job listing that blew up the effing internet, stating games are coming to Xbox, Nintendo, and PC. But yet it's big news, like a gotcha moment, like ammunition for some ridiculousness. I mean, there's also the rumor that Spider-Man Remastered had been leaked for Xbox. It's probably bogus given the account that posted this story, but if it happens, then more people get to play it. Great, what's the problem? But personally, I refuse to believe it until it is officially announced. I've got no trust in the mainstream game news media or YouTube news community at that, because recent events has proven, particularly with Nintendo Directs and what's coming in, the backtracking and the social experimenting and whatever, I've just got no confidence. Forza Horizon is a great series, and PlayStation owners have longed to play this great series, and as I've always said, they weren't necessarily against the Xbox games, but more against leadership of the platform and the poor decision making relative to the Xbox platform. It wasn't about the games are cruddy. Yes, there have been some stinkers like Redfall, of course, but by and large, Microsoft's tentpole titles are quality. Why wouldn't anyone want to play them 5 years old or not? And are we pretending that games just made 5 years ago, like 2020? Are we saying those games don't look up to par anymore? Because I will argue that a lot of the games, even from 2015, are looking better on, and I'm talking about PS4 games here. Some 2015 games look better than some of the games that are releasing to date across all the platforms. So I'm not going to buy the argument about 5-year-old games as if they're somehow, antiquated products. At the end of the day, graphics has hit a ceiling. So don't expect games to be incredibly different from 5 years ago, even 10. They'll just have new bells and whistles like ray tracing and, more particle effects, I suppose. But essentially, to the untrained eye, 10-year-old games look the same as games today. But that's just my opinion. What say you? Sound off in the comments. On to our second news story then. And it's more multi-platform related gaming news. Courtesy of InsiderGaming.com, the headline, Starfield to release on PS5 in spring 2026 with new expansion. It has been claimed. So yes, star date, not yet revealed, but coming next year. According to a report from MP First, Microsoft and Bethesda are planning to release Starfield on PS5 in spring 2026. Sources say that the game isn't being released for the console this year, partly due to the RPG's weak sales of the first expansion, Shattered Space. A release for PS5 isn't the only thing expected for the game. The report adds that Starfield will also be getting its second expansion and other quality of life updates at the same time, thus giving the PlayStation 5 version the most up-to-date and well-rounded version of the game. Lastly, they add that fans should expect to see announcements at Gamescom opening night live on August 19. Of course, if Starfield truly isn't coming to the console until next spring, it would make sense to wait until something like the Game Awards in December or a standalone announcement later on. The outlet's report does make it clear though, there are numerous moving parts and things are constantly changing, as they always do. What they claim is based really on the details they have currently. As with any rumor though, it's unlikely true until made official, or certainly take it with a grain of salt. That's so cliche to say that, but what can you do? Independently verified by Insider Gaming, take the information, of course, what have you. But what do you expect with Starfield finally coming to PS5 on top of the new expansion next year? Will you be picking it up? Let me know in the comments. Moving on to our next news story, and this one courtesy of WCCFtech.com. Xbox Series S and X have sold less than 30 million units, but they are profitable now, meaning to date. So renowned AMD leaker Kepler L2 has revealed in a series of posts on NeoGAF board via Reddit that the Xbox Series S and X consoles had sold less than 30 million units, that's 30 million units, according to his estimates based on AMD sales data. Here's a quote. They aren't even at 30 million. You don't need third-party trackers. You can use AMD's number and Sony's number to figure out Xbox sales. Steam Deck is part of the SCBU and counted as a console. Van Gogh and all its variants were developed by SBU as a semi-custom business unit and fall under the same reporting as consoles. Z1/Z2 are repurposed laptop chips. Rembrandt, Phoenix, Strix, and fall under the client segment. It's also important to note that AMD's number is higher than what Sony/Xbox would count as unit sales, since it includes chips sold but is still in flight, i.e. being assembled somewhere. So Q3, 100 million console units with 66 million PS5 and 4 million Steam Deck would put Xbox Series S and X at a maximum of around 29 million units. Q4 to really 100 million console units with 75 million PS5 and 4 million Steam Deck means Xbox sold a minimum of 21 million units. So Xbox sales for this gen range from a minimum of 21 million at Q1/Q2 2025 unit sales to an absolute maximum of 29 million units plus Q4 2024 plus Q1/Q2 2025. So between 21 and 29 million units. This means Sony's PlayStation 5 could have around 3 times the install base of Microsoft's Xbox Duo. No wonder Microsoft is putting games on PlayStation. The choice to create a lower priced model, the Series S, was not nearly enough to stop the constantly dwindling sales. Even in the last otherwise profitable quarter, Xbox hardware sales decreased 22% on a year-over-year basis. At least the Xbox Series S and X are not sold at a loss anymore, according to Kepler L2, unlike Sony's PlayStation 5. Here's a quote. PS5 had a brief period of being even or / profitable, but then component prices went up. N7 wafers, GDDR6, and a few others. It went right back to losing money. As far as I know, the regular PS5 is still sold at a minor loss. Only the PS5 Pro is profitable. They did a die shrink for the Series X and raised prices, so it should be profitable now. Interesting stuff. Interesting, indeed. But let's move on from the Xbox sales and go straight to Engadget.com in our final news story, where a leak has claimed the PlayStation 6 could have tripled the performance as the PS5, but for the same price. YouTuber Moore's Law is Dead revealed the info around PlayStation 6 potential specs, price, and release window. We're nearly 5 years out from the release of the original PlayStation 5, and rumors of Sony's next generation console are starting to bubble up to the surface. In a YouTube video from Moore's Law is Dead, the leaker shares extensive information about the PlayStation 6 possible specs, starting price, and release timing. Now, it's always important to take these early leaks with a large grain of salt, and Moore's Law is Dead even adds a disclaimer in the video that the info was sourced from a leaked AMD presentation to Sony back in 2023, adding that some of those specs may have changed. So while Sony hasn't confirmed anything, the leaks show the company may be prioritizing lower power output and keeping costs in line with a previous generation for the upcoming PlayStation 6. The video claims that the next gen console will have 3 times rasterization or 3D rendering performance compared to the PS5 and roughly 2 times what's offered by the PS5 Pro. The YouTuber explains that the PlayStation 6 is rumored to have PS4 and PS5 backwards compatibility, while potentially releasing with a price tag of $499. The price point could be an indication that Sony wants to tap in to the same success the PS4 had, which was partly thanks to its lower price compared to competition at the time. But we're in a very different time to 2012-2013. So Sony's definitely going to take a loss at that price. I would potentially, place the PlayStation 6 at around $549 or $599, but that's just speculation on my part, Foxy Games UK. So on with the article. Along with the PlayStation 6, Sony is reportedly also working on a handheld that will complement the console. According to the leaked info, the PlayStation 6 handheld will get a micro SD slot, an M.2 SSD slot, a touchscreen, haptic vibration, and dual mics. And I also believe the PlayStation 6 handheld, or whatever it's called, is going to release before PlayStation 6, and it will start off by playing, PS5 games competently, but not quite up to the PS5 Pro level due to the power wattage versus efficiency. So PlayStation 6 handheld rumored detail specs should beat out the ROG Xbox Ally X and a USB-C port that could offer video out capabilities, meaning you can dock the device. According to the leak, the PlayStation 6 handheld could have a price range between $400 and $500. But let me tell you, if you can dock it, I won't even bother with PlayStation 6 as a console. I'll get the PlayStation 6 handheld because I believe gaming, the future of gaming, is hybrid, portable, tetherless, away from the TV or living room or bedroom at that matter. So according to the leak, it could cost between $400 to $500. I would say more like $600 for the PlayStation 6 and indeed PlayStation 6 handheld. The leaker claims that Sony will start manufacturing both in mid-2027, potentially having a release date window of fall 2027 to early 2028. As I say, I believe the portable will come out first, say maybe a year before PlayStation 6 itself. So I'll say end of 2027 for the portable, and then we'll have a holiday launch 2028 for PlayStation 6, or even further if the tariff situation doesn't stabilize and other cost versus manufacturing issues aren't alleviated. But that's just my opinion. What's yours? Sound off in the comments. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, hit notification and all that good stuff. And always remember, play games, not corporation.